Take a few minutes and talk a little bit about the article that I wrote, and this kind of epidemic or this taboo-ness that we have about talking about money, and why that persists so much today, and why it's such a big issue, right? Why do we have such an issue about talking about money, whether it's with our kids, family, friends? It's so taboo, right, to talk about money. I don't know why that is, but it has caused some real issues in generation after generation, right? The lack of financial education is a real problem, right? We talk about financial literacy, but really we have a financial illiteracy problem, because I think it stems mainly from the fact that families and people don't like talking about money, right? It's awkward, it's taboo, it's rude to ask what people make, it's rude to ask how much you spent on something or other things like that. And so I read a couple articles and kind of preparing for this and doing some research, and found some really interesting things. Wells Fargo had done a poll of kind of the most difficult things that people find to talk about, and they found that people prefer to talk about death or religion or politics over money, right? That's kind of crazy if you kind of stop and think about it. People would rather talk about being dead or about not being like alive than about money, right? And that seems really strange to me. They also did another study and found that 71% of people said that they learned saving and investing and financial advice from their parents, and I found that really interesting because there is a lack of financial education, and so if 71% of people said that they learned from their parents, then there's probably 71% of people, or a lot of people, that don't know a whole lot about savings or investing and things like that. So from personal experience as an investment advisor working with hundreds of people, I know that this is a fact, right? I sit down with people and every day, and I still talk to people who are in the dark about how to save, where to save, what options are available, how taxation works, how their 401k works, right? They have a 401k at work. They have no idea how it works or what to do with it, and so it's a real issue. And again, I think it stems from the fact that we don't talk about money, right? And so in the article, I pointed out 4, I think, simple things that we can do to really break this cycle of not talking about money, right? And so the first thing I talked about was number 1, not underestimating what your kids are capable of understanding, right? My 4, 6, and 2-year-old, they blow me away constantly with what they understand, the things that come out of their mouth, and what they're capable of really understanding and doing. And so don't underestimate what they're capable of understanding. Kids are smart. The sooner you have those conversations and start having those conversations with your kids, the better it will be. There will come a point where you will either have to have difficult conversations with your kids. Maybe it's about long-term care or extended care needs or funeral planning, or you won't have those conversations, right? And then you'll leave it up to them once you pass away. And so the sooner you start having those conversations, the better off you will be when you have to have some more difficult conversations with your kids, right? The second thing I talked about was not using this phrase, "we need to talk," right? If you've ever thought about like that experience, or somebody coming up to you and saying, "we need to talk," you probably either felt like you were in trouble or gonna be in trouble, or you had done something wrong already and were about to get in big trouble, right? And so starting your conversation with that, especially when talking about money, and already being kind of an uncomfortable topic, not a good way to start the conversation, right? Find good opportunities to talk to your kids about money, to teach them about money, right? If you're in the store and they're asking for things like my kids, right? They ask 49,000 times for the candy or toy that they see at the store. Take the opportunity to tell them how much it costs, what it costs to buy something, the type of work that goes into buying something, right? And then number 3, be honest about money. This is, I think, where a lot of issues stem from, where people, they don't talk about their money and they're not honest about their money, right? Fidelity Investment Company, they did an article, and they found that 43% of couples don't know what their spouse makes, right? With their other spouse, how much money they make, which I find crazy, right? So if you don't know even the amount of money that's coming into your house or what your spouse is making, there's bound to be some fights, or a lot of fights, right? And so really important to be open about those things. Take time to share your paycheck with your spouse, right? Go over the numbers, what all the numbers on your paycheck mean. And if you don't know what the taxes and the deductions and what all those contribution amounts are and what all those numbers on your paycheck are, then it's a good time to figure that out, right? Show those to your kids as well. They will one day have a paycheck, right? At least that's what you're hoping. They will one day have a paycheck, and they will need to know all those things, and so it should start early. You have the opportunity to teach them. Show them your investment accounts, right? Don't be ashamed or want to hide that or keep that private from them. Show them your investment accounts. Talk to them about what your investments are doing and how you save money or how you invest money. And then the last thing that I talked about was making sure that you set goals, right? I think this is really important for visualizing your retirement. The more that you can visualize and the more goals that you can set for your retirement, the better off you will be, right? The more motivated you'll be to save for retirement, and the better likelihood you'll have that you'll have the retirement that you want. And so those were 4 things that I think everybody can do to really improve these conversations about money and get rid of this, again, taboo-ness that that really has a damaging and lasting effect on our generations. And I had written something in there, kind of poking or making a joke towards some of the memes and some of the jokes that go around, right, about these millennials or Gen Ys that don't know how cassette tapes work, or don't know what a cassette tape is, or don't know how a rotary telephone works, right? And the reason that they don't know why those things work or how those things work or what those things are is because they were never taught, right? And so the same goes for money. You cannot shame or blame or criticize other generations or younger generations for not knowing what these things are if you don't talk to them about it, right? So I think it's really important to go over those things, and again, to get rid of this taboo-ness of talking about money, right? Be open about it and talk about it. So in the comments below, if you're listening, I want to hear your thoughts. What have you done to improve these conversations about money with your family, right? What things work for you, right? How do you talk to your kids, your family about money, and what has worked for you, right? So leave your comments below. Check out our website, educatedwallet.com, as well. I want to do these every week, and I want to have questions to answer. So if you have financial questions, I want to be able to answer those, right? Because I guarantee that you're not the only one who has specific questions, right? Simple questions, whatever it may be. And so put your comments below, and I'll be sure to try and get to those every single week, so that, again, we can open up this dialogue about money and really talk about money. So thanks for tuning in. Leave your comments below. We'll talk to you later.